First item on the agenda is approval of the minutes of October 20th, 2025. Motion by
So moved.
Laura, second by Len.
Yes.
Uh, Roll call vote. Laura,
Yes.
Len,
Yes.
chair votes in the affirmative, 3-0 vote. Next up, middle school pathway exploration policy, file LBA. The consultant of the Department of Elementary and Secondary Education has been pestering the superintendent relentlessly.
Actually, it's the consultant they hired.
It's their consultant, yeah, it's some junior consultant who's been, and I'm hoping that by making a couple of adjustments to the policy that align to the state regulations, that we can get the consultant offer back. That's what's before us. The additions of the language are basically taken straight out of the state regulations. Any questions or discussions under LBA?
No.
Seeing, seeing none, motion by Laura, second by
So
Len.
moved.
Yep.
Second.
All in roll call. Laura,
Yep.
Len,
Yes.
chair votes in the affirmative, 3-0. Policy KFE, community use of school facilities. Um, I think the change is really the KF, which is just, okay, it's KF and KFE. KF has a couple of minor changes. One is allowing the superintendent's designee to grant permission. One restores the language of the school committee's desire that maximum use of school property be enjoyed by the townspeople. It is the committee's intent that such use will maintain safe conditions and preserve the property for school program use. I'm going to check. There is,
We don't have changes to KFE.
okay.
I'm curious if there's any input
Mhm,
that people have. We're gonna revise KFE.
mhm.
I'm gonna work on that with Chris as we do some of the audit of fees. Right now, there's community education as a revenue gathering organization shouldn't be exempt from some of the usage and energy
Mhm.
in group one. I agree with all of the others, but that's one revision I know of. I'm curious if there's any other thoughts on before we go and start working on this, any of the other groupings.
Yeah, I mean, I'm interested in hearing whatever you guys propose. I'm less inclined really to cut significant discounts going forward for anyone, but there could still be a tiered level, just maybe not as deep.
Yeah,
Agreed. Any further discussion on KF? The motion would be to forward to the school committee for first reading. Motion by Laura, second by Len. Uh,
Yes.
yes, Laura,
Yes.
Len,
Yes.
chair votes in the affirmative. That's a 3-0 vote. Next one up is file ECAB, which is something new from MASC. This is a policy which defines access to buildings and grounds as recommended by MASC. The note at the bottom would not carry forth into policy as just a note that's directed at the school committee. Any discussion under ECAB?
is this redundant with other things we have?
I'm sure some things that it's redundant with, but they're sort of recommending having this in place for whatever reason. I mean, it's giving you the cross references to where you might see similar language.
Useful for security too.
Yeah. Any further discussion on ECAB? Is there a desire to make a motion, Laura?
Move to bring this to the full school committee.
Okay, motion by Laura, second by Len. Roll call vote, Laura.
Yes.
Len,
Yes.
chair votes in the affirmative. That's a 3-0 vote. We now come to BBBE, which is unexpired term fulfillment. We found out there was a typo in calling it the Town Managers Act. It's really the Town Manager Act. There's also a flaw in the policy in that we can't invite all residents to become members of the school committee. It has to be a registered voter. So we'd be changing in paragraph 2, deleting all residents and making it registered voters. And we're making us specific under paragraph 6. The person so appointed shall be a registered voter of the town, shall perform the duties of office until the next annual election. And there's in paragraph 5, we're adding the new member will receive a file copy BCA, which is the ethics and BDA-E school committee norms, and shall begin service upon taking the oath of office. So that's basically the changes. This is just to make some basic corrections to the policy. Any questions or discussion under BBBE?
No.
Hearing none, motion by Laura, second by Len, roll call vote. Laura?
Yes.
Len?
Yes.
Chair votes in the affirmative. That's a 3-0 vote. Parent Advisory Councils, file KBG. This is a new policy recommended by NASC. We're required to have a policy for, hold on. We're required to have a policy for parent advisory councils. And let me pull it up. KB. Here we go. This is a new policy to align with current state law and state regulations. Any questions or discussions on file KBG?
We don't have a CPAC
Hmm?
policy already?
This is another. This brings in. I don't know.
Hold on, I'm looking.
Yeah. But this is also bringing in the English learner parent advisory councils, because we're now required to have that.
Yeah, there's a reference to the CPAC and IHB, which is the special education policy. So it's a little bit duplicative, but this is more robust. So
That's fine.
fine.
Okay. Any further discussions on KBG?
No.
Superintendent.
I'm
Superintendent.
just
Yeah.
making. I just want to make sure that
Mhm.
there's notification in. We might want to customize this a bit. Just to like on the notification thing, I'm fine with annual notification. The question is like, how do we do that? We have a lot of annual notification policies. We usually do that via the handbooks. We could also talk to CPAC and see if there's a different way they'd like to do that. This is general right now, so.
Yeah, we're just talking policy. All we're saying is we are going to notify, we're not defining it further, so it's,
Right, are we on first read on this, or?
this would be a first read.
Okay.
Yeah, everything here is going to first read.
All right, I might send some suggestions on this one.
Yeah, okay. On KBG, motion by Laura, second by Len, roll call vote, Laura,
Yes.
Len,
Yes.
and chair votes in the affirmative. That's now recommended for first read. We now go to meal modifications file EFBA. Second, pull it up here. This is another recommended policy from MASC. It's a short one, but it's another one that's required by regulations, and there's a note on the bottom that this is just sort of direction to us. That's not part of the vote, which includes the information should be included in student handbooks.
Yeah, we can get it in there. We don't have a,
Mhm.
we need to modify this one just to get a form in here that will work, and we can make that digital for families to request it, but I'll have to work with food services on it.
Okay, so implementation of policies, your business.
I'm sure we do this already.
Yeah, I'm sure we do too.
I'm not
This is
sure.
just one of those regulatory things we're required to put into
But
the
it says
you know.
accessed via the link below, which we don't typically do in our policies. You could put access via a link on the school website. You
Yeah.
get it on there.
Yeah.
This link is not what we would use.
It says it's an or statement, so you can do it.
But that's not the link we would use.
Yeah, okay.
So we'll make our own form and parent. That way it'll have a workflow to it. So
Maybe we can have via.
I can take a look at this. It's first.
We could just take
read,
via.
a link on the district website.
Via a
A
link.
form to be made available by the district.
Yeah, that works.
District website. I'll go with access via link on the district website.
I can
Mm.
also send any
Mm.
adjustments. Yeah, I'm sure we already do this.
Yeah, okay. Okay, with the tweak in language, any other comment or discussion on EFBA?
No.
Hey, seeing none, motion by Laura, second by Len. Roll call vote, Laura,
Yes.
Len,
Yes.
chair votes the affirmative. This is a 3-0 vote. Next one up will be file BEA. Regular school committee meetings. The question, this was brought up by Liz Exton, and looking for some specificity and adjustments in the policy. So we need to have the suggested changes are twofold. One would be to strike the words evening events and specify that this policy applies to major events, which would be defined as open houses, parent-teacher conferences, performing arts performances, or family forums, so that they can schedule other stuff in conflict with us, but not those specific things, and that we would have a date by which principals would be notified of the school committee calendar. And I just put April 30th in just as a placeholder for the discussion. First, I'll ask the superintendent if she has an opinion as to what a final date would be for us to finalize the calendar to present to the principals.
Well, we would like April 30th is fine. be fine with earlier.
Mhm.
My questions have to do with the list.
Oh, go ahead.
So I'm curious whether open houses means back to school night or means something broader than back to school night. If it's just that opening start of the year back to school night, then this is fine. And I suggest maybe making it say that, because if open houses also includes things like individual one-off like literacy night or math, whatever, game night that a school plans separately, our ability to proactively plan to not hit that that's not easy to do. So I'd rather not it include that, but I don't know if it includes that. And then my question about
So-
arts performances is a little bit similar. Go ahead,
Yeah.
Laura.
So my question is, if we have the dates of the school committee by that time, so is it, I'm not sure. I understand that it adds to the list of events that we would be asking principals to not schedule at the same time as school committee meetings. I'm not sure I understand why it's like more out of our control
It's about my
or out
ability
of their control.
oversight. This is about my ability to have oversight. I'm responsible for implementing these policies, and
Mhm.
I do not have a routine of keeping track of every single evening event at every single school. So I can tell them, I can notify them, I can remind them. Can I make sure they all do it and don't put a literacy night on a school committee night? I'm not sure I have the capacity for that, and this is my responsibility. So that's why I'm asking that question. This is as much about my ability to make sure it happens as anything else, and what I have the physical capacity to keep track of. Not all of that lands on a calendar so early in the year that I would maybe catch it on time. And often when we violate this, we find out about it too late to change it. So it's easier.
Yeah, I wasn't clear on the sort of what, I guess in the past when these things have come up, I guess maybe I thought, I wasn't sure that like what the state, like just not that, I wasn't assuming that you were like personally reviewing every event, but that if we had a clear policy, then the principals would, have those dates on their calendar, and it didn't occur to me that it doesn't seem to me that this should create more work for you if the principals are doing what they're supposed to do.
Or I've tried to do this every which way. The principals also have policies that are in their school handbooks that they are monitoring and implementing and making sure people follow. And so it's not out of lack of desire, will, and attempts. But what I know, having now had the desire and the will and attempted it and failed multiple times, is that I I don't know that I have the capacity to monitor for every single school's evening events. And I feel like that's what's going to be required of this policy at this point in order for us not to disappoint everyone.
Okay, I guess I haven't talked, I know this came from Ms. Exton. I don't actually know what the answer to your question about when I first read this and I saw open houses, my thought was, the back to school nights.
Right.
I hadn't really thought about the fact that those other things could also be interpreted as open houses. So I'm not actually sure what.
I thought it meant back to school night. All of those other events are optional. They're not, I mean, open house technically, back to school night is too, but we know parents want to go to back to school night. If this means back to school night, great. If it means a broader thing than that, I want to know that because it has implications for how I implement, oversee, and and ensure accountability on this. And the same is true for performing arts. I think the biggest issue we have had with the performing arts performances has been when there is a large, like all town or holiday or whatever concert on the night of a school committee meeting. If we're talking about all performing arts performances that happen during the year, there are multiple a week, almost every week.
Well, and I mean, this again, the part of what I'm thinking about is the other, and obviously I'm not aware of all of the different kinds of performances. When the things that in my mind fall in the other categories in general at the elementary school level happen early enough in the evening. Like I have had this conflict, and my worst case scenario is I've been a couple minutes late to a school committee meeting because they tend to be more like starting at 5 or something like that.
Right.
So,
but over the holiday, like that last meeting in December, there was a concert happening in the auditorium. It was a big one. A lot of people were involved, and both
yes.
Wizen and Alham had kids in it, and they were going back. So like that, when I see performing arts performances, it was an all town something. And so
I'm agreeing. Yeah, I think I'm agreeing with you. Like that it seems like it's less of an issue when the issue is the all town.
But the middle and high schools also have them in the like later in the evening, Laura. So yeah. I don't think I'm gonna be able to like fully avoid all performing arts performances. And so I'm trying to think about how to.
Okay. I'm going to turn my camera off for a second because I'm walking Micah into the high school for his cello lesson, but I am listening.
I can talk to Liz Exton about this too.
Yeah. I mean, this is a first read, so we can go and tweak the language before it goes to second. But I would also say that if we wanted to make this open houses a back to school night.
I think she means back to school night on that one. It's the performing arts performances, like is at all concerts that they're constant. So I'm a little worried about that. But can get clarity from her because if all the elementaries do them early enough, then we're just avoiding secondary and all town. That's fine.
Yeah.
Does that include plays?
Oh yeah.
Because sometimes those run Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
Well, if there are multiple performances, we can catch it on one of the other days.
That has not worked for things like parent-teacher conferences. So
no. I mean, obviously.
But that's because parent-teacher conferences only have one evening option.
Yep, they're more limited.
Yeah. So I would argue it's different than that.
I'm a little worried about my ability to monitor forums too, but I'll deal with that with the principals. So I'll just tell them not to do it on Thursday nights.
Yeah. I mean, there are, generally speaking, like 20, 21, 22 days open school on any given month, and we're only whacking.
I'll be here at 4.
Okay.
No.
Hold on, Laura.
Yeah, well, we got to mute.
Sorry.
Okay.
I'll ask her to unmute so she can unmute. I would like to note that I think this was not as difficult. We've been having more things for families to go to, and that's probably part of why this has become difficult. But that's a good thing. So I just like to point that out. But we're getting there.
Okay.
I'm fine with this. I just want clarity on a couple of those things.
Okay. Any other discussion under BEA? Seeing none, motion by Laura, second by Len. Roll call vote. Laura?
Yes.
Yes.
Chair votes in the affirmative. We're good here as well. Online fundraising solicitations. File GBEBD. there was concern over the definition of what this was. And so, given the suggestion by Laura, um, rather by Liz, I took the note from the bottom of the page and brought it up to the top, and made a new first paragraph stating that crowdfunding is the practice of soliciting goods, services, or money from a large number of people, typically via the internet or other electronic network. Examples include, but are not limited to, Amazon wish lists, which was the issue that Liz had, GoFundMe, Kickstarter, Indiegogo, YouCaring, and Donors Choose. So that would be a new opening paragraph, and we would delete the note at the bottom. Any discussion under GBEBD?
Liz, does this, because you and I have had conversations about this, does this, like, do you feel like this addresses the
Yeah, I
sort of
think so.
lack of clarity that we've had in the past?
Yeah. Yeah, I like this.
Then I don't have anything to add. I mean, it takes the note and makes it actually front and center in the policy. So
I think it's better policy to define it up front than have it as sticking in the back end as a note.
yes, I agree.
Mhm. Any further discussion under GBEBD? Hearing none, motion by Laura, second by Len. Laura,
Yeah,
Len, you're smiling.
Sorry, getting there. Yes.
Yes, and chair votes in the affirmative. That's 3-0. I put school committee handbook on the agenda as something for us to be thinking about, and because I went to a session over the last MASC conference, and they were talking about having a handbook, which would be sort of a new member's guide. This would have been something that would have been very helpful for us when we were soliciting candidates for the 1-year vacancy term, so that we could point them to that and say, okay, this is what the deal is. So my question really is this something that is worthy of spending some time on in the future? Should I
I,
go and
I,
chase after this?
I mean, I haven't looked at any samples, but well, I guess I'm no longer the newest member of the committee, but
Mhm.
as a relatively new member of the committee, it is absolutely something I would have found helpful. And I think it's helpful for the broader community as well.
Mm-hmm. Len?
Yeah, agreed. I think, it's a nice to have from you know, from a perspective of all the other things we have to work on. Um, if there's a good sample that we can clone, then that's nice. But I don't know that as a subcommittee, we have a lot of time to spend on it.
Yeah.
I agree. I would definitely want to start with something pretty solid
Yeah,
in
MASC
it
said there
for
were a
the
couple of districts.
particularities.
Yeah. MASC said there were a couple of districts that they would recommend us looking at it. This is something we want to do. And I can put them forward, and we can do a quick uh, consolidation and pick and choose and see what we've got. Any other discussion under the school committee handbook agenda item? Does anybody in the committee have something they would like us to address for future agenda items?
Well, it raised it before, and there's a draft that Dr. Homan has on the buffer zone policy. I do think, I mean, the committee's turning over, but I do think we should get that finalized before the next round next fall.
Oh yeah, yeah, that's very good. They definitely need to do that. And then we certainly would, us for community relations will look at the boundaries. I think when we did it initially, in 2012, it was community relations who was the lead on exactly where the buffer zones, fall.
I mean,
Yeah, this is
so
more.
I wasn't here then, but like my understanding is part of the reason community relations was so necessary there was because it was like such a big new change. So I don't know if it has to be the same way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, this isn't to change the buffer zones at all. It's to change the policy, which has a lot of language in it that we're not following in real life.
Mm-hmm.
So, so when we have a parent that can go to the policy and say, wait, when you put my student in Stratton, you didn't declare that Pierce had a shortage of space, which is what the policy requires. So I think it's better to adapt, as I did, adapt the policy to what I thought was our current process, but the superintendent needs to verify that. It doesn't change anything about the buffer zones themselves. It's
Mm-hmm.
just the policy about how those assignments are made and the
Yeah,
timeline.
Yes, I agree. I agree.
sorry, with all the budget stuff, this has.
Oh yeah, no. I know it's.
But yeah, I do have it. So if we can meet again soonish, like
Okay,
for a short meeting, I can clean this up and make sure it's ready to go for the next one.
fine. How shortish, how soonish would you like
I
it?
actually wouldn't mind having this before we're sending a whole bunch of stuff out this spring. So, and I just did the first round this week
Mhm.
of assignments. So I can do this today and we can turn around a meeting next week if folks have 20 minutes.
Okay, yeah, I mean, we could do this. So I guess that's a matter of coming together on a schedule. Um,
We're all here.
yeah.
Happy to schedule now.
Let's say hypothetically Wednesday or Thursday afternoon next week.
I'm sorry, it was a Wednesday at what time?
I haven't proposed a time.
Oh, okay.
Is there a time that works for you, Laura?
Um, I could if it's really just 20 minutes, I could do like 2:45.
On Wednesday?
Yeah.
Mm,
Mm,
I can't do that time.
okay.
I can do Thursday morning. I can do Thursday afternoon. You said afternoon.
Yeah.
Thursday.
You won't be there, but
Uh, I'm sorry. Thursday's which date?
the 5th.
March 5th.
The 5th. I am very flexible on Thursday.
Okay, Len?
Yep, clear as of now.
Can you do 12:30?
I can't do before 1:15.
What do you want, 15?
We can do 1:15.
That works for me.
All right, I'll send along a
1:30 would be
review.
better if we can do that.
I can do 1:30. I just have to be done at 2, but
Okay, that puts a hard limit on the meeting, which is even better.
right,
Okay,
that over to you all.
okay, that's good. So now all we have to do now is, if there are any other new business, future agenda items, meeting dates, for the subcommittee, hearing none. Laura's offering a motion to adjourn, seconded by Len. Roll call, Laura.
Yes.
Len,
Yes.
And chair votes in the affirmative. That's 3-0 vote. We are adjourned
Thank
at
you so much.
3:40
Bye.
p.m.
Amazing. Bye bye. See you later.